Legion, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, sweet, cool. Go ahead and stop the recording when you want to, Kanye.
I already did.
Perfect. Nice. Cool. Where we last left off, you all had just come back from a mission where you were deployed via Adina G's direction to deal with these emergence events of subalterns emerging from the ground. It was a long three-parted mission ending in the death of a known assailant, Lotus, by way of Kanya. And tragic moment there, as probably Lotus's remains, I don't know, are probably on gear somewhere. Kind of gruesome, but yeah. After that encounter and some bubbling team dynamics, you all returned to Evergreen. And on your return, you saw something breach the atmosphere. This was, which you guys would soon find out to be, Contingency White, or the crisis response team that was sent by someone in Evergreen, or Landmark Colonial Corporation. A part of Contingency White was a 5-member team: Eddie Wu, Roy Mahler Call, Balsam Singh, Emma Broadstreet, and Anne Lorette. They were a 5-person team sent here to evaluate the status of things here on Evergreen. They are, well, at least Patience told you all that they are important to you all in terms of a working relationship. You all will share authorities to the printers here on Evergreen, and it is just important for you all to maintain that relationship. Or, I mean, it's up to you guys to decide that. After a few exchanges between you all and the team there, I think a couple of you retreated to the bottom of the well, while the rest helped the rest of the CRT prepare for just get acclimated here in Evergreen. And then in that acclimation, Kanya revealed that shit is haywire here on Evergreen. Showed them a recording of subalterns massing around the perimeter of Evergreen and in the outback of Harsenian. And that initiated the CRT to put a little pep in their step. And so that is where we will find you all. What are you all doing right now?
Because you told us to remind you, I am reminding you. I also put incriminating evidence in there.
Oh, what'd you do?
The footage of Patience losing his shit.
Oh, yes. You gave that to who?
I gave it to the Sikh dude along with the USB full of our combat footage.
Gotcha. You gave it to Balsam Singh. Okay, cool. Thank you for reminding me that. Yes. Interesting. So yeah, before I do that, so the clock for the CRT, it starts at 3, and you guys improved it 1 segment because you went and helped them out. But if that thing is above 3, it's good. Below 3, not great. So just check in there. So yeah, you put that incriminating evidence. Left it with Balsam Singh as him and Emma Broadstreet and Anne Lorette kind of rushed over to kind of get acclimated again and then kind of report to Patience. You know that Eddie Wu had a kind of like an introduction to do with Patience and Adina G, and presumably he's already there kind of talking to them. You guys did get a comm from Patience to join him and Eddie in the governor's farm, but you guys got a bit of time before that actually happens. Maybe, let's say, an hour or 2.
Do we know exactly like what time it is?
Yeah, I would say it's.
I feel like we've been out all night.
Yeah. I would say it's probably around like 8 p.m. or so. The sun's starting to start its setting motions. So yeah, the day's winding down.
Okay, but are we supposed to meet with Patience and the CRT today, or would it be meeting them like tomorrow or anything like that?
Let's see. Yeah, later on tonight. Supposed to meet up. So you guys got a couple hours before that happens.
I think me and Kaiser are still stuck with the ginormously strong dude.
Yeah, Roy Mahler Call. Yeah, if you guys want to find yourselves in the, you want to kick off with that in the bottom of the well?
I mean, I don't think there's much like interaction that I to do. I don't know about you, Kaiser, but from what I understand, it's just us chatting. That's about it.
Yeah, I think Kaiser was trying to get his guard down so he can spill some secrets, I guess.
Ooh.
Interesting. Yeah, Roy Mahler, or Mahler for short, is heavily cybernetically enhanced. And as you guys are sitting here at the bar with him, kind of drinking, and it's decently packed in here, it's the later hours of the day. You don't get the sense that he is susceptible to this low brand alcohol here. It seems like he's been throwing down drink after drink after drink and isn't affected much at all.
Well, I guess this is the only bar around.
There's another bar, but it's like a more like
Oh yeah,
undercover bar.
Adina's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would Kaiser know that that place has stronger alcohol?
It probably has some stuff that comes in from the Grey Towns that that
Some
doesn't go through
absinthe kinda
patients'
shit.
curfew. Yeah. Absence. Totally. You could reckon that, yeah.
I think Kaiser's gonna challenge Roy to a drink off at the secret place that the cameras aren't on.
Nice.
What?
Here, what are you, as Kaiser says that, what are you trying to do?
It's hard to sort of say. Gear's still very in careful mode. A little less high alert because it's been a while and he's not as creepy as initial interactions showed. But they might tag along, they might not. I'm not sure. Depends on how Mola takes it.
Cool. Yeah, so as Kaiser, you say that, Mahler responds with, "You mean to tell me there's another place to get a drink around here?"
Yeah, but it's more on the down low side. Not something that patients needs to know about.
Roy Mahler spits a little bit on the bar top and says, "That's none of my concern if the NHP here don't know about it. Let's go get us a drink, a real drink."
Yep, Kaiser's just gonna stand up and lead the way.
He looks at you and kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of points back a little bit. "Friend coming."
Kaiser's gonna turn around towards Greer and say, "Well, you feel like you had enough?"
That's the one thing you could have said that would make them actually join. My voice is a little crusty, so yeah, Gear's going to stand up and sort of like very straight postured and like look down at Kaiser, like fine.
Three makes a party. I thought you were afflicted by that indigestion. Glad to see your cheer of spirits.
Gear will probably just give a slight slight laugh.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, you three, make your way outside at the bottom of the well. Open the doors. It's not rainy here in Evergreen, but it still kind of feels like a morning where you wake up and it's just kind of like damp and dewy outside. So a bit humid. It's always humid on Evergreen. You look out into the populace of Evergreen. It looks pretty lively. There haven't been any recent attacks on the city since you guys dealt with that last time. And again, people are still in a cheerer mood or more happy mood because of that message a while back from the broadcast about Union is coming. And so, yeah, it looks like a normal everyday life here on Evergreen of a prosperous and a colony with a bright future, which is probably the first time you guys have really like experienced this vibe since arriving on Evergreen. And if you were to think back on this moment many years in the future, who knows what you would think? But yeah. Yeah, so as you all make your way, you hear a screech from the other side of town that's kind of through an alleyway and kind of looks like it opens up into a plaza type deal. A loud screech.
Wait, what? A screech?
Screech, yeah, like a yell or almost a cry for help.
I think
Oh,
Kaiser's,
okay.
yeah. Does Kaiser know if his camera access has view of that place?
Yep, sure will.
Okay, he's gonna look at it real quick. What does he see?
You look at your camera feed, kind of tuning in through multiple cameras through the city, trying to really focus in on the one that's pointing on the direction where the screech came from. As you do that, Roy is already charging forward through the alleyway to go look at this thing, and he has his gun unfolded. This is like a light, like hand pistol or whatever. But anyways, after a little while, you see that there are 3 kids congregated around a well.
Little Timmy fell down the fucking well.
Roy's
Well.
gonna call back. He's gonna call back and say, "What's taking y'all so long? I've been on this damn contingency for too long. It's time for some action. Someone needs some saving."
Why does this character have to be so fucking creepy? Yeah, Gear's going to does Kaiser let Gear know that it's little Timmy falling down the well, or
Yeah, he's just gonna show you like there's a well with 3 kids before running off.
okay, yeah. In that case, Gear's gonna run off as well, but not draw the pistol.
Nice.
Danger
Yeah,
indeed.
as you all follow Mahler through the alleyway, you start to see a crowd congregating around this well, a crowd of maybe like 10 or so. There are 3 kids staring down the well, maybe ranging in ages from 8 to like 17, from what you can tell. And they're calling down this well. And some other colonists on Evergreen are like kind of gasping and putting their hands over their mouth and kind of pointing in the direction, looking around for any militia members. There's maybe a like 2 or 3 kind of, asking the crowd like what's going on or what's happening, and maybe one by the well with the kids. The kids are kind of exclaiming in very distraught tones that seems like something has fallen down.
I guess Gear will try and push towards the front to ask the youths what happened.
The youths. Yeah, as you 3 approach, the militia member that's standing by the kids kind of looks at you all and says, thank God. These kids tell me that they were playing around this well. We never even use this thing. I don't even know why the top's off. But looks like they say the kid named Labella, is that their name? You kind of look at the kids and it's like, yeah, it's Labella. Labella fell down. We heard something. We saw something down there. And he's like, the guy, militia member's like, do y'all have anything? I don't have my ladder with me. I went back and I asked some of the other militia to bring something, but it might be a second.
I think Kaiser is gonna.
Please don't do anything creepy.
He's gonna pour milk down the well. Just kidding. He's gonna throw part of his nano whip, not like dangerously throw, but like one end of it towards Roy, and he's gonna start running and getting into the well.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Roy says, I like what you got planned here. Good to know that you Union auxiliaries or Infocana and whichever you're called think quick And Roy wraps your nano whip around his cybernetic arm and doesn't hold it with 2 arms, just 1 arm, and that's all he needs. And I guess as you're attached to the other end, will let you down if there are any objections or if Gear, you want to say anything?
No. Gear's pretty certain that Kaiser can handle it. Gear hasn't actually seen Kaiser do any of the creepy shit he's done yet. So
Nice.
they have no reason to believe that Labella's going to fucking die at the moment, which is quite possible.
Roy looks at you, Gear, and says, what? All you do is just stand around?
If Labella is wounded and in trouble once Kaiser gets her up, then I will patch her up. But you two have it handled for now.
All right, good plan. And then he starts to let you down slowly down this well. You descend around 30 or so feet before the light above starts to kind of dampen, and all you see is just almost like a telescope view of the above and several kids or 2 or 3 kids' faces who are staring back down on you. Assuming you probably see Gear too for the second too. But yeah, as you descend, the well opens up into a rather large chasm or crater, rather. It's very dark, and you don't hear the signs of whimpering.
Kaiser is going to the rope reaches to the bottom, right? Or the nano whip. Tell our buddy Roy to let go of the rope so he can use his whip in case something happens.
Okay. You exclaim out upwards, echoing through the well, let go, and Roy says, sounds good, and just lets loose. And you drop another maybe 10 or so feet before you hit the ground. Landing solidly on the ground, it's hard, and with a little bit of lighting from the above, you can see it's kind of reddish in color. So is hard in the sense that it's not like actually like dirt. It looks like it's a manufactured floor, almost concrete even.
Okay, well, he's gonna activate his stealth suit because this is probably not supposed to be here.
Cool.
And then he's gonna look around for signs of kids.
Labella, got you. Yeah. Give me a spot roll. Or what kind of trigger do you want? What triggers do you have?
I don't think I have anything that helps me find people or things.
Okay. Well, just give me a flat roll then.
Okay. Oh, well, I rolled in the wrong place.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Where'd you roll?
Oh, I have another roll20 open.
Oh, okay.
Why did it roll?
2d10? Let's just take the first one.
Yeah.
Wait. 1d20 plus. Oh wait. Would you? Oh wait. So a 10? 10, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the 10.
Okay, cool. Yeah, with a 10. You do. While you don't hear the sounds of anything whimpering, you do hear something. Looks like it's maybe approaching you. Footsteps, maybe, or there's a cadence to them essentially, and they're shrouded in dark, and it is really hard to see.
Okay, so Kaiser's gonna move towards it, but still stealth and trying to be sneaky.
Okay. So you move forward with a couple steps with your stealth suit on. What starts to illuminate from the low amount of light here are what look like antlers, maybe? And then followed by those antlers are what you would assume is like a blade, almost like a praying mantis, and it's slow and it's very short, and it almost looks like the extremities things that you're seeing don't match the proportions of what they're connected to.
So they're not human.
It's hard to tell. It's moving slowly, and you're only getting like light glimmers of reflecting off whatever you're looking at.
Okay, I think Kaiser is going to say something along the lines of, "Hey, odd place to take a walk."
Fucking weirdo. I love it.
You say that, and the response you get is clicking sounds, almost like someone is tapping something. They're tapping their fingers on the table. You don't see any movements. The figure in front of you has seemed to like stop moving, and it's static. But you hear clicking sounds, like someone tapping their fingers on a table. There's no response to what you said.
Okay. Can't really do sign language in the dark, but if you can understand me, tap once.
They don't tap once, and you start to see a quick and uncoordinated movement towards you, almost like a dash out, as if someone was trying to scare you. And what you see is a little child who has affixed some size or whatever in like a weird helmet or skull to their head, and they scream out, "Boom!" And then as that happens above and Gear next to you, you hear all the kids laughing as they start to say, "We tricked you! We tricked you! You're not
Yeah, well,
so tough."
Gear's gonna lightly like kick one of the kids in the shin.
What?
Just lightly. Not anything dangerous, just a bap, basically.
You kick one of the kids in the shin, and they get a sour face, and they're saying, "What's that for? It was just a trick, a joke."
You're wasting our time. We have more important things to do than this.
Roy says to you, Gear, and I thought I was an asshole.
Gear's had a bad day, okay? They're allowed to kick kids in the shin.
Yeah. Joseph, you see this kid who has, looks like the things affixed to them. They're just kind of like, not really affixed to them. They're holding these like arm-like scythes, and they have a like, after closer inspection, as they kind of move towards the light coming from the top of the well, looks like they literally have a skull on top of their head. And it looks weird. It has like a plate on the top that has some engravings, but it's also like half chipped off, and there's maybe missing some extensions that go out one side of the head. It definitely looks like it's remains of something, a beast or something that's been here for a while.
I think Kaiser is gonna use his info skin and proto skull color to don't want to traumatize the kid. Look like a mummy, I guess.
This kid
And
is
then
cracking the fuck up right now.
And then he's gonna decloak and try to scare him.
Yeah, so you do that, and you don an image of a mummy with its, you know how like in the Mummy or whatever, when the jaw like really elongates and like you can see the whole mouth type thing.
God.
Yeah, you do that, and yeah, you scared the shit out of this kid, and they kind of jump back and fall on the ground and start to whimper and stuff, and they drop the things that they were holding, and they start crying. They say, "It was only just a joke. Why? How do you have to be so mean?"
He's gonna turn back to normal. He's like, I don't know. That was like one of the first funny things I've been I've experienced since I've been on this planet.
The gang bullies kids.
The kid's gonna get up and run towards the center and yell up and say, "Come get me! He's not as nice as we thought." And then she's gonna look back at you and say, "When Union gets here, I'm gonna tell them what you did."
Guys, why am I getting an update from Evergreen Twitter telling us we're canceled?
Is it going
The
viral
gang
at least?
cancelled for bullying kids.
It's really bad when the Infocane are nicer.
This is why we're legally these things. But yeah, where is the rest of the underground like? Does it actually lead anywhere besides up the well?
Yeah, so you would probably need like a light or something. You probably have a light affixed to your hard suit. So yeah, as you like shine your light, you look around, and it looks like the chasm that you're in is kind of has a little bit of water, not enough to like serve as a well or anything, but it's completely circled in. Looks like the portion of it has been caved in a certain direction. But as you kind of look around and a little bit more, you start to see remains of something else that was here. But it's very, very aged and very weathered. You would give, let me see. It starts to, I would say, probably resemble what you would understand as like maybe like a transit station. You see like radial arms, but like radial directions of the concrete, kind of pointing in many directions. Also in the direction of the portion of the cave that was caved in, but you don't see any remains of any like other equipment or anything.
I think Kaiser is gonna take note. Basically like
What do you want it to say?
I didn't even say anything.
Well,
Basically like take pictures for the crew and be like, guess what I found underneath this weird ass well that for some reason.
Nice.
And then he's gonna head back up.
Cool. Yeah, Roy takes something off of his satchel. It's a rope essentially. It's like a carbon wire rope, and he just drops it down to pick up the kid. It has like little foot placement holdings or whatever, kind of like on Gundam or whatever. You get down for your mech, and throws it down, and you two are reeled back up. And as you two are reeled up, the other kids grab hold of Labella and kind of wipe her tears away, and then they kind of laugh at you guys and just run away. And then the crowd around there looks relieved, and they like walk away and go back to their stuff. And then Roy looks at you and says, "Do I need to ask what you did to that kid down there? They're crying."
oh God.
What? They get to have fun, but I don't. And then for like a split moment, he's gonna like it's like what's it like Mystique, where like half his face turns into a mummy, but the other half is normal for like a split second.
Got you. Roy looks at you and says, "Well, that answers that. What's down there, by the way?"
Oh, very interesting stuff. He's gonna show the pictures. That's like, I don't know, weird sign of trust. He's like, it looks like an old metro system. Kind of weird. I never read anything about it. And then blueprints around of this place.
Interesting. Mind if I grab a few of those? Talking about the pictures, motioning to the pictures.
Yeah, he's gonna send them over to the entire CRT team. Be like, Kaiser has found this.
Nice. Cool. Roy says, all right, well, should we go get that drink?
Yeah, he's gonna go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Gear, what are you doing?
Yeah, just following. Is pretty blasé about today.
Okay, cool. All right, so pause on you two.
Wait, what?
Qtepi and Kanya. What were you two doing?
Should I, Kanye?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Kutepi is kind of sitting by himself thinking, but he's not in one of his normal hangouts where it's clear that he wants to be alone. He's where he could probably easily be found. In fact, if Kanye wanted to, Kanye could probably might see him like just hanging out by a window.
Yeah.
I would say that were that the case, you would catch Q in the evening, a thin and faded red and black Basotho draped around him in the pale light. His crimson warrior mask would be laid lethargically on his lap, stark against the backdrop of his umber stealth suit and the subtle Kindra patterns dancing throughout it in gold and ivory. And to his flank, his Naguni shield drone is calibrating, and his Ikuwa, his special Ikuwa, is kind of sinking in vibration softly in response. He's probably just drinking something. Yeah, he's drinking a mug of like some bitter smelling stew or some shit.
It's like an Afrofuturism lo-fi setting.
Lo-fi hip hop to think about.
Yeah, exactly.
Slaughtering your enemies too.
Sort of comes in and says, "Ever the one for the dramatic poses."
Every now and then, I think I just need the time to myself.
He laughs for a second, presses a thing on his data slate, and sort of waves his hand over, like looks at the picture that's been collected. I don't know, it'd make a good statue back home.
Hugh kind of laughs to himself and in response says, out of all of my family, I do not think I will be getting any statues back. And then he probably kind of rubs his neck and he says, tell me, Kanya, why have you never asked about my name? Ebiku, I mean.
I'll admit, it confused me a little to see that on our pilot roster when I was assigned, but I figured you had personal reasons. Sort of walks over and sort of like looks out the window.
Q kind of sighs and says, personal would be accurate. Tell me, what do you know of the word?
Spirit, children that die young keep coming back generation after generation.
That is the long and short of it. Please, if you will, I can tell you a story to explain. And he kind of gestures for Kanya to have a seat.
He does. He's like, well, I'm always a fan of your stories.
Hugh kind of takes a deep breath, as if to collect himself, and then he begins. I used to have many siblings, all warriors of Infakane, and my father, a cruel man, used to be a high-ranking impi. You would not know him, before your time, and long dead now. I have always been the way that I am. More umteto than her Owazi back home jokes. But if my siblings, all strong and exemplar impi, could not survive, what chance did I? That's what my father thought, I presume, at least. So, in his cruel compassion, he did what he felt he must. He kind of turns and gestures. Have you never wondered why I, your senior, near twice in age, in the same rank as you now, when I entered the service at your same age? I've spent years slowly breaking down the walls my father erected in what I thought was a conceited notion of protection. Now that I'm out here, though, I am beginning to think that he was right. And Q kind of takes a swig from his overly large mug. No matter.
Well, on a similar note, if anything, I'd say you made him proud this week.
One can hope, Kanya. One can hope.
Come on. They'll be waiting for us in a minute.
I'd imagine we'd also hear the scream around this point in time.
No.
Wait, why am I getting a Twitter update?
What you all hear is a commotion brewing outside. Looks like it's coming from the direction of the governor's farm. If you were to look out the window, you see what looks like from the distance you're at some engineers, Chief Fielding's engineers, being barred from entrance to the governor's farm. Those barring them are Balsam Singh and Emma Broadstreet.
Mm-hmm. This ought to
How
be
could
good.
they?
That may be my fault.
Well,
SMH.
let's go see what we can do about this. And Q would kind of get up, but he still keeps his bosoto draped around him.
Cool. Awesome. So you guys step outside, out from where you all were. I'm assuming you're at the bottom of the well or something. You step outside and you start to make your way into the direction of the commotion that's brewing. As you approach, you hear some exclamations coming out from the engineers in the form of cuss words and slanders at direction of the CRT, Balsam Singh and Emma Broadstreet. What you can ascertain as you approach and what you hear is that Emma says, "I'm sorry, I can't let you in here. The situation is critical. You see, we're Contingency White, and we're here to ensure your future, your survivability, and the survivability of this colony. There seems to be some new developments with the forces brewing outside of here, and we must ensure that this facility, the governor's farm, remain under lockdown." And then Balsam Singh says, "We can be sure to keep everything that you have safe, and if you have any personal necessity to you or give you access to them in short order." And then one of the engineers steps up from the crowd and says, and they coincidentally sound like Chief Fielding, but they're not Chief Fielding. They say, "Well, I gotta mech those new pilots. They printed off those mechs, and I gotta make sure those repairs are done and they're up and fit. They've been here protecting us longer than y'all have." And he kind of steps forward a little bit more. He says, "Who you just got here?" And then Emma does not wait a second. When this engineer steps forward, she takes the butt of her gun and hits him across the jaw and knocks him square into the ground and says,
Yikes.
"I told you, the governor's farm is under secure lock and hold. Step forward again, and I will use the other end of this gun." And Balsam says, "We will be sure to repair you should you take any severe damage."
I think at this point in time, Q would approach.
Cool.
What is Emma's last name again?
Broadstreet.
Got you.
And remember, Emma is, this is her first time, from what you guys could see from her dossier, it's the first time working with the Landmark Colonial Corporation, but she is a prodigy in warfare, essentially.
Practical savant, yeah. But yeah, I think kind of seeing this Q would approach, his hands balled tightly into a fist, but his face is kind of giving that false smoothness that he sometimes puts on.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Kanya, knowing Q, would know that he is absolutely livid at the moment.
He's enjoying the
Like-
sight of your shoulders making weird patterns as you tense. And
Go home. Go drink a whiskey.
Kanya is enjoying my perfect hip sway.
My God.
Kanye is enjoying a lot of things. Okay.
So yeah, you approach. What do you do?
I put a hand on her shoulder, secure, like kind of pushing my way through the crowd. I put a hand on her shoulder, firmly, but like not pushing her or adding any force. Just kind of like very much so like present. I guess is the best
Cool.
way to put that. And
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you get no reaction from her as she has her gun pointing at the person who got knocked in the ground, and that's pretty much it.
Excuse me. Burping. Q is gonna kind of. His eyes are closed at the moment, and kind of like his fake aura of placidity, smile kind of deal. But he opens them and he looks directly into her own eyes and he says, "I would not recommend doing that again." And he lets that sit for a moment before saying, "Besides, these these engineers have ensured our success on countless missions now. There is no security threat from them." And he will probably kind of, after saying this, break his gaze from her and then look to the crowd and kind of, in so many words, attempt to calm them down, kind of like say like, yes, we know that these people are new here, but due to recent developments, we are taking extra precautions. However, we are going to make sure that you can return to your routine as soon as possible. That like something along those lines of like,
Cool.
we're going to solve this.
Cool. As you say that, Balsam steps across Emma and kind of in front of her, blocking the direction of her rifle, and looks at you and says, "We appreciate that, but given the recent developments revealed by your compatriot there, Kanya, the situation is much more dire here, and it is imperative, and it is our mission that we retain the utmost security of the governor's farm."
I'm gonna cut him off. I'm gonna straight calm him. I'm gonna let you
I'm gonna let
finish.
you start.
I'm gonna let you finish. But Kanye had the best album. No. I kind of cut in in I cut in such a way that is like me trying as hard as possible not to be rude, but also very clear that like I don't super care what he has to say, and I am going to kind of more or less say like something along the lines of like, in all this time, this no matter how dire the situation has come, we have ensured the security of Evergreen without putting us into like a police state. Uh, and I kind of like reiterate. I reiterate the idea of like returning back to solving this issue so that we can return to normalcy while still in keeping the integrity of the security and then I kind of try to make again saying both to saying sign and kind of to the crowd that like we respect the patience we respect the patience that everyone has to have in this situation. We respect the necessity for maintaining the utmost security, but more than that, we respect those who have been fighting equally as hard to ensure the security of Evergreen. And I motion towards the very engineers. And can I attempt to make like a lead or inspire check?
Yeah, this sounds like
Can
one
I
of
give
those.
him some backup?
In what way?
Just sort of as he's done saying this, he sort of looks to Balsam and says, "And the thing you forgot to look at on those recordings was the timestamps. These people have been living with this. Maybe respect their authority."
Yeah. I think
Interesting.
I think an aspect of the speech would be I think an aspect of the speech would definitely be trying to like emphasize the fact that these engineers have been a monumental help. They've ensured that our mechs are running tip-top shape. They helped us get the bowl back online, all of that. So that's what I'm going for when I make this lead or inspire check.
Cool. What other triggers do you have? Just curious.
I have inventor, create, read a situation, and spot.
Okay, cool. Yeah, give me a leader inspire check. Yep. And
okay. Do I have accuracy because of Kanya pitching in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool beans. Oof. Okay.
Tis a 14. Yeah, with a 14, you're able to calm Emma as she lowers her gun. And Balsam kind of nods at the logic that you're throwing out and that Kanye is kind of backing you up with. You see the engineers disgruntled because they can't return to their work. But yeah, they see the logic in what you're saying too, and so they decide not to protest any longer to get into the governor's farm. They understand that it's locked down, and
Until
the
further
CRT
notice, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
we're gonna make sure that you guys can get back in as soon as possible, but just
Yeah.
asking for their patience.
Yeah. So one of the engineers say, or I guess the one that, well, maybe not the one that got hit. They got hit pretty hard, but another engineer says to the CRT rather. They say, "You can't expect to have this lockdown go on for long. This colony runs by the skin of its teeth, and if we're not there doing our work, then who knows what could go awry." And then Emma says, "Shut the fuck up. You're just engineers."
I think
And
think
you
I'd
are
probably
just a
cut in on
pilot.
this.
And you are just a pilot.
You say that?
Yes.
Oh damn.
Emma says,
I-
I'd watch your tongue around me, Kanya. I appreciate you helped us moving out, but let's not forget one thing. We're work associates, not friends.
I
Which is
think
why I remind you of your position.
I
You're
think
outnumbered.
Q.
Is that a threat?
No.
Kanye, why?
No. It is he's like literally eyes honest. And sort of like looking back and sort of like to try and emphasize the bad vibes coming off the crowd. That is not a threat. Weigh your battles.
Emma
I-
spits and holsters her gun and looks at Balsam Singh, and Singh kind of shrugs a bit, and then she looks back at you all and says, "I'll keep that in mind. But as far as we're concerned, you and we might have a little bit more to discuss. So I would watch my toes. Step lightly."
Sort of smiles, and it sort of the smile has changed like 3 times in this conversation, but it's sort of weird, and it's like, I'll keep that under advisement.
What do you want to say, Kui?
I was just gonna say that, like, kind of trying to make sure that the crowd disperses without her pissing them off anymore.
Oh yeah, crowds just crowds
Yeah.
dispersed. You're good.
He, at the one who she told shut up specifically and who she like smacks, like patting him. He's probably like patting him on the back and like, just think of it as a day off, friend, and like kind of moving him along. But he's gonna come back.
Got you.
Um,
Balsam would
and-
probably say before you come back and say to you and the guy you helped up and says, "I would take 2 aspirins in the morning. That might leave a scar."
I imagine that he kind of like thanks Balsam and he looking at the 2 junior pilots, so to speak, talking to each other. He's gonna look at Balsam and he says, "Is this a common occurrence with your rookie?"
"Oh, that is Emma just doing her duty. She is our team's security force, and she's damn good at her job." Emma kind of like smirks and kind of like dusts off and just kind of backs away from the conversation and stands by the entrance to the governor's farm. And Balsam says, "She's quite skilled."
He kind of nods his head and he says, "I can see that, but perhaps you should remind her who she is supposed to be securing the farm from. Maybe just a suggestion as to ensure that we do not confuse ally for enemy. Yes?" And he kind of looks at Singh as if to kind of figure out what his feelings on the situation are.
Balsam nods and puts his hands together and kind of like does like a very slight bow and says, Correct. We will keep a very watchful eye on who we are protecting this facility from. It is our mission to secure it from any aggressors who find themselves willing to breach its borders.
But we should also be equally aware how easy it is to make aggressors.
Exactly my point.
Key kind of turns towards Emma and he says, sometimes diplomacy is a much more, let us say, precise weapon in disengaging a potential enemy than the other side of your rifle. You told my underling, so to speak, that he should watch his tongue. I don't know a better word.
Comrade.
Comrade, thank you.
Underling.
Because I feel like, yeah, underling's weird. My apologies. You told my comrade that he should watch his tongue. Well, you should hold yours. Or else we can arrange that I do it for you.
Can you hear me? Hello,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, hello, hello.
I can hear you.
Yep, we can hear you. Oh,
Do you hear
he can't hear us.
I can hear you. Is Shaka out?
I think Shaka
Oh,
has died.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Oh, yeah, my thing cut out.
You can't
My thing
hear
cut
us.
out. I'm sorry. Yeah, Eric, I can hear you guys.
Okay,
said,
cool.
Sorry.
Also, Kanye's the bottom.
I told Emma that.
Excuse you, power bottom.
Okay, underling.
It's gonna be weird when we get into combat.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, just grapple. each other. I'm sorry.
I said that's what the emergency movement's for. I told Emma that I basically referenced the fact that she told Kanya that he should watch his tongue. And I said in reference to that she should hold hers, or we could always arrange that I do it for her.
You said
I also just told her that maybe try that using the weapon is not always the best way to hold security.
cool. Well, that was said. Balsam kind of looks at Emma. She looks at you. Balsam seems kind of tense, but nothing happens. Emma just moves her gaze away from you and just continues to guard the governor's farm. And Balsam says, "Go ahead."
I was just gonna say that as Emma doesn't do anything, Key kind of nods his head, closes his eyes, and gives that sub-zero smile that has zero happiness in it, and he kind of turns to he turns to Balsam and sing. Thank you. He turns to Balsam and he nods his head and says, "She is a fast learner."
Kanye just
Thing says,
Kanye just
Go ahead,
shrugs his
Kanye.
shoulders, starts walking inside, like, oh Jesus, this place, all the sexual tension.
This has been one day. The Infocane chose violence, and the day is not over. We're still choosing violence. Woke up and continued.
Singh says, well, that's ended possibly the best it could. I hope to work with you, further spend time with you all as we're here. I must get back to my duties. Emma will stand guard, and we won't pose any more threat to you all, but we are keeping those outside of the farm.
Fine, I'll install
Barred
my
from
own
entering.
NHP.
Cool. So yeah, that is that. I guess at that point, you guys know that you two are supposed to report, well, the rest of your team too is supposed to report to patients for this briefing. We can switch back to Gear and Legion. Did you guys want to type anything with Mahler at this other bar?
Just have a drinking contest and see if he slips up.
Cool. And what are you looking for?
What their mission is, like off the record.
Interesting. Cool. This sounds like a risky roll.
Oh,
What does that mean?
It means you need to get a 20 or you suffer the bad consequences, but you still succeed on a 10.
Interesting.
Also, the clock for the CRT relationship dropped one thingy.
Figured.
oh boy. You
What
might
are
be
we
able to
at?
fish for something a little less private and have it less risky.
Yeah. So probably not something that big.
You need to get him drunk first.
Yeah. Oh. So Kaiser is a super soldier. And he has like probably like 3 livers or something. What would the role be for a drinking contest? Is it like would survive work?
Just a regular drinking contest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Survive makes sense. Yeah, and it would just be it'd just be a regular roll. I would call it difficult, but both of you and Mahler have enhancements to make you digest alcohol better.
Okay.
I guess two, you might have heard around town in one of your off-camera conversations with oh my god, in your off-camera conversations with Chief Fielding that he has a special brand of alcohol. But anyways, yeah, that's a failure, and that's assuming you have lost this drinking competition with Mahler and
Shall I roll to see how I go?
yeah, you
Sure.
can. But I'm gonna say, let me see.
Have survive and stay cool.
It'll be difficult for you. But you have survived. It'll be
Yeah,
difficult for
because
you.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm not a super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 difficulty. Alrighty. Let's go.
To all the folks who've
It's-
read Kill 10 Billion Demons, Never Drink Against a Sorority Sister.
So yeah, you were able to succeed. But with I would say not exceptionally well. Mahler isn't drunk, but we'll say he's tipsy. But you have been able to like ingest this alcohol and in a way and impress Maul, and he's probably a little loose of tongue. But you're not gonna get everything out of him.
Yeah. And I'm guessing Kaiser is just fucking out.
Yeah, Kaiser is kind of probably turning on and off his cloak in a corner chair.
I thought he was drunk, not high.
I've seen
Feel
some drunk
like-
people do very dumb things.
True.
Kaiser's probably like he's just like being like, I think one of my liver's failing. I'm just gonna induce vomiting and put it into a nice little bag. You know, don't make a mess. Hide it underneath the jacket.
Molly's gonna look at you and then look at you and then look at you, Gear, and say, and you actually pilot a mech next to that one? Seems kind of gross.
That one is effective when sober.
Makes sense. Well, you wet my whistle. That's all I really wanted to do here.
Why?
I hate that he's probably the best person on that team. I hate it so much.
This game is just like 30% sexual euphemism.
And then he says,
No.
he says, tell me, what's really going on here in Evergreen? I didn't read the reports on our trip on the Contingency.
Of course he didn't.
I like to get my reports from word of mouth.
Well, it's all very complex. You'll have to do some digging, as we don't know all the details either. The one thing that I believe you're primarily here for is the problems with the subalterns, though I'm not entirely sure. That is the most pressing issue, though.
Roy kind of thinks a little bit, kind of like thinking, trying to remember along their trip. He says to you,
Damn, I should have read that damn report.
Roy says, I don't remember anything about any subaltern. I remember some notes about crisis situation and extraction. I don't even really know. I'm just here to murder or drink.
See. Well, do you know what you're extracting? Or can't quite remember?
Eddie likes to talk about how we're all supposed to keep our wits about ourselves, don't excessively fraternize with the populations, and make sure that the governor's farm is secure. But to what ends, I'm not sure. Sounds like a boring job, to be honest.
Sounds like you're on security detail. Just a mole cop. That doesn't seem like a job that you'd enjoy.
You insulting me?
Not insulting you. Just noting
Flattery.
that you probably won't enjoy it. You seem
Was it
like you like
flattery?
to,
Oh.
flattery, perhaps?
Okay. And he
What?
says, he says,
He's just blushing the entire time. He's just like turned red. He doesn't get like flattery that often.
No, exactly. Roy kind of takes another drink and says, "You got that right. Seems like y'all have a little more discretion in how you act. May I make a request?
Yeah, sure.
Next time y'all go venturing out into the wilds, make sure you let me know. I could use a little stretching."
Yes, of course.
And then Roy kind of sits back up in his seat and checks on Kaiser again or Joseph again, and then kind of faces forward as if they don't have anything else to say unless you have a question for them.
Yeah, no, I don't. Also, they're never gonna send this guy a, hey, we're gonna go murder this.
Good to know. Cool. Yeah, with that, I'll say we'll kind of close this scene as you also get the ping. All three of you, Mahler, Joseph, and Ugir, get the ping from patients to report to the governor's farm for a late night update. Mahler just bangs his hard suit and the comm goes off and he says, I'm going to stay here. Thanks for showing me this place. They've got good drink.
So he said that he's gonna stay drinking because he's a disaster. Okay.
Yeah. Kaiser
Well,
probably has,
I need to know what's going on with my next mission, so I will depart.
Alrighty. He just kind of waves you off without looking at you with one arm. And you guys head out. And Kaiser, did you want to do anything?
Oh no, he's just gonna like walk out with like 2 pitchers of water, just like chugging it real bad to get the alcohol out of his system.
Okay. Some Greek drinking tactics, I see. Cool. So yeah, you two leave, and you eventually will regroup with your compatriots at the entrance to the governor's farm. You see Emma Broadstreet there, kind of guarding the outside of the farm. Doesn't like anyone's approaching. She just kind of gives you all a head nod as you all pass by. In the governor's farm, there's like the militia headquarters and patients in Adina's spot, and then there's like the data. There's like a data bank place that's under the Adina and Patience's complex or whatever. You see Balsam Singh kind of talking to some militia. Looks like he's like inspecting some their medical supplies and such. And then you see Anne Lorette, who's using one of her drones to kind of survey the governor's farm. You don't know where the other drone's at. But yeah, you four together.
Okie dokie.
You said we're together now?
Yep.
Did Legion
Together
or
forever.
Gear tell us anything? Sorry, Legion. Did Kaiser or Gear tell us anything about
You ain't telling
Legion?
y'all shit.
Alright, true. Fair enough. My bad. I forgot you're still angry about the thing we did. My bad. I'm sorry.
I forgot the horrible Warcraft that we did.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot we
Um,
murdered a man in front of you. My bad.
Regardless of that, Kanya does go over the sub vocals to your audio sets and just puts out. So, there was almost a riot, and the security personnel nearly shot a civilian.
Who else has sub vocals? Because I know
Yeah, I
Q
do.
does. Okay.
I do.
And
Is
technically,
it
I'm not
everyone?
gonna respond, but you do see the eyes kind of go like wide and look over like, that ain't good. I'm guessing Kaisar is too fucking wasted at the moment.
Kaiser's probably pulling up the footage. It's like, what street is this? Seeing the recordings.
Yeah. Over on 9th and Abston.
the corner of Governor and Farm.
Oh yeah, and then he's gonna show it to Greer. It's like,
Corner of pop shit get hit.
that's not great. I feel like they're a pretty terrible contingency response team.
Singh seems to have a
Yes,
decent
they're
head on his
definitely
shoulders.
here on corporate.
If anything, at this rate,
business.
we'll need a contingency response team just to fix any problems they cause.
I'm gonna steal a copy of that recording if you don't mind. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise. So did you all do anything interesting? I know you were with what's his name? The big bruiser fella.
No, he was quite boring. Although I did sort of save a kid from a well.
Oh,
Not really, but I did find something interesting. If you saw my messages earlier,
At the idea of Kaiser saving a kid from the well, Q just kind of goes, "Oh, you're a regular old lassie, aren't you?"
God. Oh, Timmy's been falling down the well.
Looks at the
Save him,
notifications.
Kaiser!
Looks at the notifications, sees the tunnel. I should really leave my notifications on during story time. Okay.
yeah,
I'll
he
see
shows
if I-
like it goes like real far, but he didn't go too far in.
I'll see what I can do to dig up some old schematics. Anyway.
Yeah, just to
expected.
clarify. Yeah, just to clarify the things that Joseph sent you all the images of the kid. Did you share those? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They appear to be of some indigenous larger creature. You see decrepit scythes. I can't say that word. And almost like a deer antler like head that's half cracked and broken off, and like a almost like a metal plate on top of the head, the skull.
That doesn't match any of my flora records.
Oh no.
Yeah. I feel like at some point the team should investigate that place.
I think you're right.
I do not like feeling as though we are sitting on a landmine.
Or even worse, a graveyard. Superstitions and all that.
Did you just make an ancient movie reference?
I mean, I made an
God.
ancient reference.
Next we think we turn around, there's just a pile of chairs all stacked up.
Weird. Anyway, we're expected.
Whoa, those chairs sure are weird. Let's go.
Cool.
Look-
Oh, go ahead.
Looks at the chairs, nose bleeds slightly. Anyway, moving on.
Cool. So yeah, you all as a team do your slow walk towards the complex that Adina and patients are in. More, I guess, more so just like militia headquarters. Waiting for you up there is patients Adina G and Eddie Wu. Patients noted they had something important to divulge to you, and may have hinted that it has to do with satellites. So yeah, as you all rise up, and let me see. Let me do this real quick. Oh, I don't have Dina G. Give me 1 second. Yes, let's do that. Show player. Show to all. Then let me just do patience. Show to players. Show to all. Cool. And then I guess I should do the CRT as well. You guys can just zoom in on Eddie Wu. Cool. So yeah, meeting you all at the top. In the militia headquarters, you see patients, and they have displayed a similar image which you guys have seen before. The whole room is encompassed in a satellite projection, as if you all are standing above Harsenian itself. Patience is floating midway in the air, kind of facing you all. Their tie still not set straight. And Adina G is looking through papers and kind of notices you all as you walk into the room. And so does Eddie Wu, as he's just kind of standing by, and it doesn't seem like you guys interrupted the conversation at all. And Patience says, "Oh, I'm glad you've made it. And I'm glad you've had the opportunity to meet Contingency White. They were sent by the Landmark Colonial Corporation to do just as you all are doing, ensure the stability of Evergreen. I hope that
Stability.
your meeting has gone well."
Stability. They've nearly caused a riot.
Yeah, Q and Kanye, it's still the same day. We're still choosing violence. I feel like once again, Q has to pull a Kanye and tell Patience that he's gonna let him finish, but kind of like stepping up. And this is like the first time this is the first time he's spoken up really in front of Eddie Wu. But he states, like, to Kanye's point, if the CRT here is if the CRT is here to ensure the stability of the colony, they're failing at the moment.
Well, I respect your opinion, Q.
It is
But
not a matter of opinion. And I kind of gestured towards Kanye.
He pulls up the image of her nearly shooting civilians.
It seems they're doing their job. It takes a while for the colonists here to adjust to changing dynamics. And as you all are well aware, the situation, while improved a bit, still rests at the edge of my awareness as a critical situation. Ergo, the CRT.
Not Kanye, sorry. Q will kind of nod his head and gesturing towards the video. He kind of says, like, but you see how easily the crowd was dispersed using words of diplomacy rather than acts of violence. The situation has been much worse since we've been on the planet. It's been much worse under our care. And we've never had to resort to such actions. At this rate, we never had to resort to such actions to keep the peace. At this rate, and kind of saying this in while making like very pointed looks towards Patience. Q says, like, at this rate, this may be another sandcastle that falls.
You bastard.
I am a bastard.
Patience says, kind of like grunts a bit and kind of like almost cracking their neck, but they're, in HP, so they don't. And they say, Eddie, maybe you could shed some light on the matter. It is your team, after all. Then Eddie says, certainly, Patience. And then he looks at you, Kutepi, and he has his light phaser rifle kind of across his chest. And he says, I apologize for my team. I've seen the recordings. Emma is almost as brash as Mahler. And she can step out of line. But I'll assure you, my team answers to typical Union and landmark colonial protocol. And there will be discipline for any behavior outside of what is considered acceptable.
I cut in to Eddie again and I say, does this seem like a typical Union protocol situation? And once again, kind of nodding towards Kanya, I request the video of the subalterns.
And
It is my understanding that your team did not even know of this factor. You have come in ill-prepared and ill-informed.
Well, my question is to you. I've read the reports of your duties thus far. What did you find out when you first arrived here? You were attacked? You lost militia members? To me, you are in a similar situation than us.
and yet we didn't start a riot. I do not say this to be antagonistic.
We also did not have the same opportunities as you.
I say this as
We
a
are
numbers.
here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I say this as a numbers game.
And then Q kind of adds to that. We, as I said, we did not have the same opportunities. We did not have a team that had been on the field in the midst of the action for as long as we have to rely upon. You come here asking for our respect, and in favor, we will earn yours. But you did not consider that you had to earn ours. I ask you now.
Eddie interrupts and says, excuse me, didn't respect. Like you, we're on a job. And if earning respect was a part of that job, it would have been earned.
Well, I'm only repeating what he said. And Kanya not Kanya. Jeez, I keep doing that. Q kind of bows his head with his arms folded behind his back, his standard M Bison stance. And he nods and he kind of, without walking back or like apologizing for what he's said, he simply states, "We are equally a resource as patients or the engineers in this colony. I only ask that moving forward, you treat us as so."
Eddie
There is
looks
more
at
to
you.
gain.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that there's more to be gained from us working together than there is with any one group or team trying to impose their will upon the other.
Got you. Eddie responds with, I agree with you. We both have our duties, and it's in both of our best interests to not let the way we conduct and execute those duties, impact the other team. Let's call it ground zero, and we'll start on from this point.
Agreed.
And then Adina chimes in and says, well, a little bit of posturing is always healthy for a team. I believe Patience, and looking to Patience, you had an update for the team here. And then Patience says, indeed. And he kind of waves his hand, and the whole globe kind of shifts and spins a little bit to focus on a different continent, not the continent you're on, Solitaire, but a different continent entirely. And the series of images kind of zoom in at rapid rates on what looks like footprints in the snow, and it looks like the footprints are and tracks rather footprints and tracks are being made by a large drone and a farmer. And patient says, I've picked up cultivated fields, and this image you see before you, an individual much further away than our current position. I'm perplexed, as there seems to be a larger settlement across the long ocean. And he kind of like zooms in a little bit more, and you get blurry images of what looks like a large metropolis. Not metropolis, I'll say like a large city. And he says, there seems to be thousands, no, possibly nearly millions of people on this continent, ignorant of our position. And I was ignorant of them till now, until the weather on Harsenia let up and my satellite could make its rounds and image the place. This is concerning. What do you all make of this?
Perhaps they were here before you.
They wouldn't be the first ones.
Perhaps they were. No one can really tell.
Well, we have some evidence.
Do tell.
We have active understanding, and from the last engagement, that a faction known as the Harsenians, from which I believe you have interrogated some of their members' patients. We get the feeling from the state of their tech, they've been here a lot longer than Colonial.
There's no way to confirm the validity of their statements. They could just be, as I mentioned before, pirates, claim jumpers, and raiders. I have not found any home of theirs near our position, or possibly they're from this other continent. Who's to tell?
You not finding their home is by intention, but regardless, as we stated in our last meeting, we have come to a point where we can ensure a state of cooperation with the Harsenians, assuming that you are willing to put your best foot forward.
I'm glad that you brought that up, Q-Tepi. While we don't know where these Harsenians are based at, we have leads on a access tunnel of some sorts our militia have picked up in the distance. Possibly, it could lead to our presumptive allies, as you have illustrated your intentions. I would like you all to investigate it.
Q just kind of nods.
Like, I mean, it's not like we're gonna say no.
Got you. Adina chimes in and says, I'll note that Brava has picked up words from the militia that some are eager to finish the fight, essentially taking out these Harsenians for their past assaults here on Evergreen. I'll leave it up for you all to decide what the correct course of action is.
You'll need to stamp that out. We don't need another engagement because that means reignition of war.
As of now, the Harsenians are on a strictly attack only when provoked mandate. So long as we keep the peace. I was just going to say, so long as we keep the peace, they will.
Eddie looks up at hearing what you said, Q-Tepi, and then hearing what you said, Gear, about not inciting war. Eddie says, I've had Anne Lorette survey the grounds here, and I wouldn't call the assaults here on Evergreen war. To me, in my experience, it looks like a scouting party. directed and coordinated attacks. War, I think this colony has never seen anything like it yet.
Best
You
to keep
will-
it
Yeah, has a
up.
flashback to all the mechs she dug up. Well.
kind of in response, Q says, "War comes in many shapes and sizes. We should remember. Let us not recall the ancient wars of Earth, namely that of Nam, I believe it was called.
He has no fucking
Back in
clue
the
what you're talking
damn.
about. No
Dropping
one has
some
any clue what
history
you're
on
talking.
you. Just dropping some
No one-
history on you.
You were talking out of fairy tale books. No one knows what you're talking about.
They have
Okay,
record
fair
of them from the
Back in
Massive
the
Vaults.
fucking damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some pretty old shit.
Yeah, it is. If it's like looking into ancient Mesopotamian history, but we still have
Yeah.
the information.
We
Uh,
just because we are not familiar with this way of conducting it doesn't mean that that is not exactly what's going on.
Eddie says, "You have a point."
Regardless, as I said, they will keep the peace so long as they are not provoked. We have come to an understanding that, in large part, the violence was brought about a combination of misunderstanding and the pressing of a larger threat on both parties
The
approaching.
subalterns you're referring to, correct?
Only in part.
Affirmative.
The
But
signal.
I believe that is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg.
And Kanye sort
Wow.
of steps forward and
Go ahead.
just sort of projects a few things, just sort of links up with Pacenge's monitor and starts sending a few things over. From what we can tell, the signal's been re-triggered by a particular individual, currently no longer in the picture. Lotus, digging up and messing around with old SecCom tech found under the ground here. It triggered this signal, at least reawakening it. The locals seem to know it as the machine. And from what we can tell at this point, it is the source of the signal. Union is coming to save you.
Adina drops something she's holding, and she almost like a stutter, a momentary slip in her posture, and says, "Can we go back to something you said that caught my attention? Lotus is no longer here."
Oh.
I'm afraid during the wave of machines attempting to kill off everything that moved, instead of guarding refugees, Lotus was leading a surprise attack on Evergreen with the intent of stealing provisions, as stated in his mission records, salvaged from him and the mechs of his companions. We actually have the Harsenians to thank. They went and they engaged with him in skirmishes before they could reach Evergreen.
And
Adina,
before
go ahead.
Q kind of jumps in right off of Kanya and says, and before Lotus could cause any damage to the defenses of Everdeen, and then kind of looking directly at Adina G, he says, sometimes posturing is dangerous.
Got you. So
He looks
addressing,
very obviously pissed off right now. Like, so mad. They're staring at Kanya specifically with just absolute anger. And Adina could probably pick it up if she wasn't so distraught at the moment.
Got you.
Permission to see
I-
violence? Nah.
So Adina did have a momentary lapse in her professionality, but she seems to have regained her demeanor. I would say after Kanye's explanation and kind of what's followed up by Q. I mean Kui. Or Q. And then she says. That is regrettable. I
I
had
agree.
hoped more for my familiar connection with Lotus. She looks at Patience and says, "Excuse me, Patience, I need a moment." And she walks out of the building, and Patience follows up and says, "Well, I appreciate handling of the situation. Any threat to Evergreen is considered a threat to the lives of the colonists in the future here, of the colony and Landmark Colonial's mission. Any threats identified should be eliminated. You all did excellently."
To that point, I think the Harsenians, intentionally or not, providing us time to remove and detain the threat is more than worth a moment's consideration.
Wait, what?
Yeah, could you repeat that? I was a little confused by that.
Fancy way of saying whether they meant to help us or not, the Arsenians did us a favor by holding him off. We should
Okay,
give them
cool.
the time of day for that.
Oh,
Cool, yeah. All right. Okay, cool.
I
So
took that as something completely different.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was like,
I'm trying to sound smart, guys.
My
Yeah,
character's
yeah,
smart, but I'm not.
You're the smartest ever.
This
yeah,
crew is made
Patience,
entirely by idiots.
Patience, Patience will say, addressing you all, and say, "Well, you have clearly illustrated your competency in dealing and handling situation, given the, dare I say, politic around these local Harsenians, as you say. I trust you all to handle the situation as you all see fit. In the meantime, Contingency White and Eddie Wu will maintain the sustainability of Evergreen.
If I
Both of
may,
these missions operate contiguously, and you all, I wish you both success. Go ahead."
if I may make a appeal that the engineering staff be allowed to re-begin their work. The printing of the new mechs as well as the updating of the current ones will be significantly more efficient with their aid. I
And,
believe they've proved their dedication to this outpost time over.
Eddie Wu says, "Done." And then Patience says, "That settles that."
Nods
Uh,
to Wu with sort of a nod of respect.
Okay.
Q kind of looks towards Wu, and he says, in a similar vein to ensuring that we do not interrupt the duties of each individual team, I would also like to extend a potential ability to work hand in hand, shall I say, to you and the CRT, the rest of your CRT, Mr. Wu.
Eddie says, "It's been a while since I've been called Mr. Wu. My child used to joke about that name with me after a famous Omni film they used to watch. Sure. We've got a little downtime to work together. It'd be good for the team to better ingratiate themselves with you all. For all of us, and ultimately, it'll be better off for Evergreen."
She nods and kind of adds that in part it could also help both teams as our missions may sometimes overlap.
Yep.
Kind of taking the cue from Kui, sort of looks over and says, "Our new discovery?"
Oh, asking if I want
Yeah.
to share it.
Yeah. Essentially asking if that was the joint project that he was referring to, just over sub vocals.
Kind of without breaking eye contact to like Wu and Patience. Q says over sub vocals that he would like to investigate that more personally. The statement was more so just meant in general.
Okay.
Are you guys using data plating? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, the subvocal communication, the not immediately saying things out loud, but still transmitting them to our team.
Yeah,
Interesting.
throughout my
Well,
space.
which Which I think patience doesn't give a damn about, but at least doesn't mean woo immediately. Here's what we say.
Yeah. Patience will probably likely know what's like something's happening, but yeah, you can just assume they're omniscient.
Yeah, and I've linked my fucking slate to his thing. I assume he's already rifled through all of my files.
Yep, definitely.
Patience is just
Oh.
like fan fiction. What is this?
Yeah, exactly. That folder is labeled fan services. Yeah, definitely peruse through.
Perfect Hip Sways, the album collection.
God.
New from Infocane Space, the Shaka special you've all been waiting for, Perfect Sway by Purple Rain.
Bad.
Cool. Oh, did you guys have anything else?
No, not with Eddie at least. I think we kind of
Okay.
we've cleared that up. In far as with patience, I don't feel like I have anything until such a time in which I can actually see what's down in the well myself, and then I might come up for questions, like call around.
Oh,
tables.
this isn't the well. This is another. This is
No, I'm saying I'm saying until such a time in which we know more about what's beneath the well, I don't think I have anything for patience either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm saying that patience isn't sending you. Oh, okay. I think he's sending you somewhere else, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Cool. Solid. Yeah. So yeah, I think patience will conclude the briefing. You guys have your mission parameters. You have to go investigate this tunnel that the militia found. Patience will also like note that it was like looks like also it was like a abandoned campsite or some such stuff. So yeah, you guys will be heading off in that direction in your mechs.
Okay. On the way out, Gia's gonna try and see if they can find Adina.
Cool. As you all leave,
Can I
the
join
patience.
here on that mission?
Yeah. As you all leave, you don't have to join any mission because Adina is waiting outside with her back against the wall, and only has eyes for Kanya.
Uh-oh.
He is some. This is the first time that the smile is completely off of his face since thing, and he looks somber for a moment and meets her gaze and is like, sort of directs off to a side room. Shall we?
Yes, I would appreciate some seclusion.
Nods. Just sort of says, "I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit."
Gia is going to wait in the building.
Respectfully bows and
Mental health care checks are important, friend.
So you two kind of meander off into a kind of an empty room. Looks like it's like maybe Adina's personal office or something. And she says, so as I understand, the Great Towns are missing their leader.
They are.
Well, Kanya, may I be so bold and ask, how exactly did Lotus meet their demise?
I killed him.
Thank you. She kind of like it's like you can her face doesn't change, but you can imagine she's like maybe like showing another face. Like there's a face behind the face essentially, and that face is maybe like a little erratic or like upset or something like that. But
A little
yeah,
upset, just a tiny
yeah.
little smidgen of
She's-
upset, just maybe a little.
I
she
recognize.
says, "Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I recognize the hypocrisy of me telling you that he wasn't, that you didn't have to worry about it from me. Unfortunately, the evidence I found proved him to be a greater liability than he could have been an aid. And I apologize that you have been hurt by this."
She looks at you and says, hurt? No, more so caught off guard. You see, Lotus, as I've mentioned to you before, was a wild dog, and I thought was a little more trained than I had expected. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Although I do appreciate what you have told me. With the vacuum that Lotus's departure leaves in the Grey Towns and Merricktown and Lumays, there needs to be another to take their place. At some point, I would hope that you are able to connect with another contact of mine, Jacob Merrick, a well-to-do homesteader who lives outside of Merricktown. With the influx of these other refugees, call them, fleeing from these emergence events of subalterns, there'll need to be a little bit of order established, because without a leader, the flock is going to be led astray.
Sort of brings it and quickly scrolls through his evergreen access, pulls up just like a facial recognition so he knows what the guys look like.
Yep, Jacob Merrick is a brown-skinned homie. He's got glasses, got a fade, kind of grayed, and he lives out in the near Merricktown. He's got his own complex, but he's respected and trusted figure from among the Greytown people.
Very well. I'll keep that in mind. If we can help him, if it's within our ability and time frame, I'll certainly see what I can do to help him.
That is all that I ask. And
actually, he does immediately send that to the rest of the team. No holding that back. It's like, okay, person of interest.
And then she says, well, that is all that I require. Again, thank you, Kanya. And you get a little bit of like, fuck you, Kanya. But she says, thank you, Kanya.
He says, you can punch me if you like. It'll make me feel better.
She just kind of like straightens her throat and just walks by you and out the door.
Kid's sort of waiting off to the side in that main sort of room. I don't know if anyone else is still there, but they're gonna try and like check in on Adina.
What are you saying? She's moving briskly and not like upset or anything, but she's just typical Adina, like very like about the work.
Yeah, she's got a full-on mask up. So yeah. Seeing, I guess Gear will sort of read that as she doesn't want any sort of human contact at the moment, so they'll just send a message sort of offering like if if she wants to talk about all of that and all that, and that Gear is concerned about her mental health and that sort of thing, and sort of in a very like concerned doctor kind of way.
Interesting.
So just sort of puts out the offer of help, but will totally understand if she's not ready for it, because that's some trauma there.
So yeah, you throw that out as she walks by you briskly and like goes into another room, and you get a response almost immediately back that says, essentially, yes, I would appreciate someone to confide into when you return from your mission.
Okay, okay.
And Kanye sort of walks out slowly out of the door she sort of stormed out of, strolled out of.
Is it ever going to be made clear that Kanya and Q definitely didn't know about Gear's just full-on fucking hospital inside of a mech that burns the world? Inside of a mech literally called World Killer.
I'd like to think that, like,
bad.
as we're like building up our megs, he just comes over like, oh hey, do you have a spec? Is that a full med bay?
Is that a full,
Yeah, pretty much. You guys are just gotta like, walk past the mech as it's like open for one of the rare moments that it is. It's just like, wait a minute. Oh fuck!
Does that have an entire
That's why that's so
rehabilitation
bad.
center in it? What the?
Why
You can learn how to walk again in the world, killer. What?
Why does it have the Sigmund Freud chair?
Okay. I think that's a good point to take a break real quick.
Hey.
What we have? How are you guys looking on time?
I only have about half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay, cool. So we have enough time to finish up downtime, and
Sure.
that is probably it. And then we can
Okay.
start on you guys suiting up and heading out to do the mission that Patience said. But let me let's take a quick 5-minute break.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
I've been thinking all my lines today.
I should probably be.
Yeah, you're Kanye today.
Yeah, today I'm Kanya. I almost at one point referred to myself as Eddie, and at another point as Lotus. So
Oh dear.
Oh my.
my defense is that I have been traveling all day. And,
Yeah,
new
that's
environments,
totally
but,
fair. You're probably exhausted as fuck, dude.
Yeah,
should
I got
probably
in
be getting
and
mission.
I got in, and my partner was like, "You want to take a nap?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I passed out for 4 hours.
Need a fat fucking nap, bro.
I need a nap. Extra wide. I'm excited to get into combat though, but I'm also pretty satisfied with the social element. Yes, we lost a pip with the CRT, but
Yeah, no,
we
that was good
also
RP. I like that.
we established things, I
Yeah,
was
yeah, no,
okay
that
with
was
it.
good. I like that very much.
I also like the really stupid idea of after a day in which Q has just commanded Kanya to shoot off someone's head, they get back, and that in terms of saving a child from a well, I feel like Gear and Kaiser definitely would have did it a lot more aggressively than Kanya or Q would have.
I
I feel
mean,
like
if Gear was in the situation you guys were in, there'd be a lot more this is a war crime in the making. I'm gonna stop this.
yeah, I think it's
They're
interesting.
very, very union about how they go about people's rights.
I think it's very interesting, just generally speaking, what each individual member of the team, and also what each possible pairing of the team is good at resolving situation wise.
Yeah.
I'll say it again, but I personally am always happy to RP with Kanya, because I think Q can bounce off of Kanya very easily.
Yeah, you two get on well. Before Kanye became a weirdo, Gear and Kanye were great. But then the whole
Now
I see the cyberspace happened, and now he's
now Kanya is
strange.
just someone Gear used to know.
Kaiser and Gear get on okay. I feel it's just that Gear doesn't know anything about Kaiser, and honestly, if they did, there'd probably be less willingness to interact.
I feel
fucking mic disconnected.
Oof.
Congrats.
Hi.
Were you trying to say
Hi.
something?
Yes,
And then you realized no one
3
was on
times.
mute? Okay,
Aw.
hit us with this.
No, it's largely things were still said in the vein. It's fine. You two read my mind. It's fine.
I feel like Kaiser and Q, if forced to work together, would just be two entities vibing. But,
We saw what
Yeah.
that looks like. We saw that in Tactical Takedown, where I was largely a distraction and you two fucking killed people.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you two are stealth core.
We just out here doing things, but there's no camaraderie. It's just
Doing bad shit.
do thing. The mission.
Oh my god.
It's like we betray each other and then we just shoot wildly while both of us are invisible.
Gosh.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see you here.
It's like
Working
that's
again,
cool.
Dave? I think Q doesn't know how to interact with Gear, so it's a weird thing of Q, I think
That's what
is
people say to me in real life.
well, no, I think Q being canonically, I think Q canonically is the oldest member of the team because he's like almost 40 something. He is 40 something.
Gear is fucking old.
Oh, okay. You're but
They
aren't you
so
old relatively speaking? Like you're old because
old subjectively and old objectively
Relatively.
or however relatively.
yeah.
Let me see if I actually wrote down.
I think
But they were born in SecCom.
Yeah,
And
I
lived like the first bit of their life in SecCom.
that's what I
That's why
meant.
they hate SecCom so much.
I know that
Yeah,
you're
they're
like
57.
okay. So you are the oldest person in the team, but it's still
Yeah.
like I think with Q, he has kind of like paternal instincts. I would almost call it, where he largely looks at the team and he's like, I need to protect Kanya because Kanya is just younger me, and I know
Yeah.
what it's like being me.
And that
I
also
Okay.
don't
makes a
know
lot
what's
more
going on
sense
with
because
Kaiser.
you're both the only Empicano. So it would make
Yeah,
sense. You would have
and then
a
with Gear,
bit of a
it's like,
bias.
and then with Gear, it's like I know I feel like Q looks at Gear and is like, she is a medic. She is largely displaced from a time that would be familiar to her. I want to protect our medic not only because our medic being alive means that we get to be alive, but also like it just kind of like almost like the same way that you would treat kind of like a grandmother or like a older or like a frail older sister almost.
Wow, you bitch.
Gear's not
Calling
frail.
Gear grandma?
Yeah, I
I mean, kind of.
Gear
They're old.
probably
Fuck.
the strongest mech.
but yeah, it's just that idea of like wanting to protect them because it's just like looking at any. I think Q in part being an impi, in part just because of their own experiences, looks at the medic and is like, they are someone who needs to kind of be. I wouldn't go as far to say coddled, but like sheltered to a degree. And so Q constantly feels like they're getting flipped around because they'll try to shelter Gear, and then Gear will in turn be like, no, I already know what's going on with here. This is how we're doing it, and like he would just be
Mm.
like, okay.
Tries
Mm.
to help. Gear just shoots a thing. It's like, oh, didn't expect that. Haha.
You trying to support Gear. I don't need no support. I am in a world killer.
I'm in the biggest, stumpiest mech around. I'll
And I
fuck you
move
up.
super fast.
Agility mechs are fun.
Cool. So with that, you guys want to continue to downtime? This downtime will last about 2 weeks, and we can start off with you, Gear, since you have the most limited
Oh,
time.
frick. Now I have to look at the downtime thing.
Yeah, so you have all the downtimes that are previously accessible to you guys
Yeah,
per like
yeah.
the evergreen ones, and then like all the other ones.
Yeah, I don't think any of the evergreen ones are useful at the
Well,
moment.
I think one of them was increase the defense, and that would in theory raise it to maximum.
Oh, that's not on the pinned thing.
It is. It's one of the evergreen ones.
Yeah, all I've got on the pinned image on the chat is dig up the pass, take a walk, and down the well.
Oh, it doesn't have this. Yeah, it doesn't have the other ones.
Let's see. How many times can you do this one? I know. Here it is. Put in the work. That's what it's called. Name and approach. Okay. You said about blah blah. Nonetheless, you're unable to help now due to blah blah. Since everything collect only if you do one of the following: play the scene or two scenes. If multiple characters take this action once. Okay, cool. Yeah, only one character can take this action per downtime. Yeah.
Okay, that wouldn't be good then. Gear would be trying to keep busy to sort of process some fucking bullshit. Just looking through the downtime things. I guess it sort of is fitting. Get focused to pretty much practice medic work, so practicing patch.
Okay.
so that they can hopefully not have that happen as horribly again.
Cool. I'll say that we practice patch with Adina. As she,
Oh,
well, I'll say
patching the
instead of
brain instead. Emotional
of
patching.
instead of her saying like, you can do this when you guys get back from your mission. You guys have 2 weeks, so yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
So cool. So I'm doing get focused.
And yeah, you don't have to roll for that. You can just do it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
you're correct.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll just say that this downtime starts off kind of with a tenseness to it, as the threat of the subaltern army, the machine army, hovers around Evergreen, but only tense in terms of you guys' knowledge of what's going on, not tense from the perspective of the colonists on Evergreen. While they probably still have issues with like subalterns dysfunctioning and going astray and such, nothing too severe, as they're almost expecting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do you think we find you and Adina?
Well, Gear would definitely offer Adina to choose the location. Like if it wants to be somewhere private to them, like their their kitchen table, or if they want a more clinical sort of let's go down to the local clinic and have a therapy, or
Got you.
even at a bar. They are pretty easy on where Adina would be most comfortable.
Got you. Yeah, I would say Adina proposes you two meet at this place called The Block, which has a lot of, it's like essentially a bakery. It's a collection of establishments that do like nice confectionery treats and such. Not super elaborate.
Adina
just,
has a sweet tooth.
Yeah. She proposes you guys meet there.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, we find you maybe a couple days later. You and Adina meeting up at the block, this portion of Evergreen. The sweet scent of yeast fermenting and being cooked is in the air. There are a number of other people kind of eating, and you see a group of 3 or 4 children. You see Labella kind of with her friends kind of eating, and they kind of give you a side eye. But Adina sees you, and she has a bag with her, and she hands it to you, and she says, "These are donuts, special order from supplies gathered from Lume's. The chows, they have exceptional ability to grow the nicest and most exquisite forms of wheat."
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you.
So, you wanted to talk about things.
Yes. I don't know the details of your and Lotus's connection. However, from what I understand, it was close, and I wanted to check in with you regarding your mental health, essentially. Sorry,
I
that sounds
appreciate.
so clinical.
No. It's all right, Gear. I appreciate your concern, but even more so, I appreciate your specific tact in addressing the situation. I can't say the same for your compatriots.
Yes, the Amphicane have a particular way of doing things. They're trying to keep their emotions a little separate from now, but there is like a flash of like, oh, those bastards.
Achoo! I feel like someone's talking shit about me.
Adina says, kind of prying the subject a little bit more, and says, the subject as in the relationship with your Infocane allies. She says, I've heard stories of Infocane. They are a resolute people. Do you find that your relationship with the two on your team is strained a bit, given their disposition for courses of action?
It can get a little difficult, I will admit, but it doesn't have an impact on our working ability, if that's your concern.
It was my concern. I am forever puzzled why Union would send the likes of them here. They
Yes, it is a particular choice, which I'm not sure about the details of. Um, I would assume it's because of their thoroughness with, well, issues. Because the report we initially came here on was that there were, pirates and such. It's a little more complex than that, but
Yes, it is much more complex. Well, Gear, you seem reasonable. Not to say that your compatriots aren't, but it seems like the situation here will have you all staying here longer than I'm sure you've expected. If that so should turn out, I would make a humble request.
of course.
I informed Kanya of Jacob Merrick. He is a known associate of mine in the Grey Towns. Although I fear telling Kanya to handle the situation might lead to unpredictable outcomes. I am trusting you now with this information. When you all return from your mission investigating that campsite, I ask that you make contact with Jacob Merrick ahead of your Infocani allies.
Of course. I will contact him. Is there anything particular that you want me to contact him about regarding?
Yes. Tell him that Lotus is dead, as I'm sure he is likely will be aware of. And in his absence, there needs to be order.
Yes, I can do that.
In their absence, sorry. In their absence. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, I can do that. Now, I do have a slight concern. The form of order, how do you mean? Would you like that to be just more community-based, peaceful things, or are you meaning more hard-handed?
Well, I think it's what I'm getting at is the reason I'm telling you is because I expect a more measured approach. And the order I speak of, given the slow influx of these refugees from the outlying settlements, I would ask that you confer with Jacob and inquire whether or not they are willing to step up to the task of herding these wayward souls.
I see. Yes, I can absolutely do that. Now, I do want to sort of, I guess, check in again. How are you doing?
In respect to what?
Emotionally? You do seem like you're masking in a sort of I'm on business kind of way, and I respect that. If you don't want to get into things, that's okay. However, it does seem like you are struggling a little bit.
She kind of breathes deep a little bit and says, this is quite astute of you, Gear, and as I mentioned before, I appreciate the concern you place my way. I won't lie, my disposition is a bit shifted given the news of Lotus. I'm sure you are likely aware we had a familiar connection, runs deeper than blood. But that was another lifetime. Our last relationship, status of it, more so was maintaining the homeostasis between Evergreen and the Grey Towns. And the weight of those negotiations, you could call that, breaking down with Lotus's demise, also weighs down on me. And so, yes, I am a bit distraught, and I apologize if I'm not coming off as earnest as I can. I have worked along with Landmark Colonial Corporation and SSC, and they prioritize professionality.
Yes, I understand. I Grief is difficult. I believe everybody in Evergreen would probably have some understanding of how difficult it can be. But it sounds like the grief you're going through is something that's going to weigh on your mind.
I think it will be, and I can't pull myself away from this subject. But what really foments in my mind is, without order, this grief I may be feeling may be felt by the colonists here on Evergreen, and that could lead to unproductivity.
Of course. I think processing your grief, I know that's a very clinical way to say it, but going through the motions and figuring out your state of mind, I suppose, it will help you keep everyone in order and keep everyone productive. Without processing your own emotional state, the stress you feel now will just keep getting worse.
I fear that as well, and why I agreed to meet you here. I'm curious if you have any recommendations to relieve or process what I may be feeling. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't typically feel this way.
Yes, it's often rare that we lose people that we care so strongly about, especially now that cloning is a thing. But sorry. My recommendation for you now is to set aside time, preferably each day, but if that's not permissible with your schedule, to really focus on caring for yourself and making sure that you're doing all the things that you need to do to keep yourself healthy and to give yourself time to think about everything regarding Lotus and to process those intense emotions. It's a terrifying thing to do, yes, and difficult,
Yes.
but it is, in my, I suppose, medical opinion, quite necessary.
Mhm. Yeah, as you say that, she kind of nods her head, and she you may have noticed, but she was kind of wringing her hands throughout this conversation. And then she kind of unclasps them and looks at them, and kind of using one of her hands to use her thumb to palm through her palm, or one of her palms, and she says, "You make a good point. You know, before my time here on Evergreen, I was a farmer. Um, I was gene cast to be a farmer by SSC. I am quite good with a sickle and a hoe. I think I'll take some time across the slow river to work the fields. Possibly it will bring me some clarity and be exactly what the doctor ordered."
She gives like a little awkward chuckle and goes, "That sounds like a wonderful idea. Something that is perfect to help you heal from this."
Perhaps you would like to join me at some point. It'd be nice to have a
uh,
ear to talk to.
yeah, Gary is like, they wear a medical mask most of the time, so Adina can't like see it, but she's got they've got a smile.
Nice.
And like absolutely, it would be a pleasure.
And then your mask unclasped to reveal a beautifully pristine smile.
Absolutely, like perfect white teeth, all nice
Yeah.
and straight, just like
Exactly.
dental care is important too, Adina. Gotta brush your teeth.
I really hate deep fake gear smile.
Oh,
It's atrocious. Oh my lord.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, Adina, she does something unexpected. She approaches you and hugs you, and says,
Oh,
"I appreciate the conversation, Gear."
absolutely. Naturally, Gears hugging back.
Got you.
And yeah,
Cool.
I'm
Cool.
glad
Cool.
that
Cool.
you.
Oh, great. Go ahead.
I'm glad that you agreed to talk, and I'm glad that it is helping.
Yeah, she nods and takes the last bite of her tart that she has gotten, and bids you adieu with a weight almost or clear direction to relieve the weight kind of placed upon her.
Oh, that is precious, honestly. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did so good. Yay.
Yay. This is helpful for Gear as well because holy shit, trauma is fun. So in terms of gamey things,
Mhm.
do I get a +2 on patch or
I think you do. Yeah, I think you get another level of. What's your patch at now?
it is? Let me double check on CompCon
So
because
I don't think it can
I'm
go above
trash.
6.
I think it will be getting to +6 then. Yeah, it's +4 at the moment. So
Cool. Yep. +6. Yeah. You
all right, cool.
got some skills in psychological repair.
Yeah, yay, yay.
Nice.
Alright,
Or
cool.
you could add a. You could probably add a new like trigger and be like therapy or something. I don't know. It's up to
Oh, I don't want to separate all my triggers. That's
you.
just gonna ruin my thing.
Your Comcon sheet.
You gotta keep my
Cool.
CompCon sheet nice and neat.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. On to cool shit. You have a new license being printed or new license gained. Any new things going on with your mech?
Oh yeah. Let me just get my mech page up. Yeah. So it's now got a plasma thrower,
Nice.
big ass flamethrower looking ass thing.
Nice.
Which is always fun. It has a big like medic symbol plastered all over the med bay thing. To be
Nice.
like, yo, it's a med bay, you fuck nuggets. And it also has an HP installed, an Agni class.
Ooh.
So that will be fun to mess around with.
An NHP, you say?
Did I
Wahaha.
just get called a fuck nugget?
Yeah, you did.
That might be NHP. That might be a little plot point to explore
Oh,
further.
also a
I'm not the
fun
only
thing I
one.
would like to note to let the GM know, I have taken Infiltrator 1, and I can now just move through people.
Oh, nice, nice. Infiltrator is a good talent. I found out in another game.
Yeah, it's quite fun, especially when like everyone's trying to like melee you and get in to you, and then you just move
You
through
are
them
the
and burn them all.
weirdest Genghis ever.
Hell yeah!
Oh, cool. Yeah, you get that
Oh,
mech
it
printed
also
out
has
with your.
superior by design, so
Oh,
immunity
okay,
to impaired and heat cap increase.
See,
nice. Yeah, you get.
their
Go ahead.
mech is special. It dances while the world burns around them.
Exactly.
You're a fire dancer. Yeah, you get that mech printed out, and it's clear to everyone, all the engineers here. There are clear instructions how to put this thing together because obviously it's superior by design. And what you once had a ramshackle recreation, somewhat ramshackle recreation of a long buried mech, now resembles the pristine, sleek lines of a world killer Genghis, and equipped with new weaponry and as well as a clear stamp of its intent. That intent is to burn and heal, or heal and burn, whatever you want to, whatever.
Yeah,
order.
either way, like depends
Got-
on the situation, you know.
Cauterize the situation.
Yeah. Cool. Gear. Anything else you want to tie up with your downtime?
No, I think that'll be it. Like, personally, Gear will just be trying to keep busy by just doing various, like, probably mech repair kind of things and setting up that, or
Dope.
maybe going to get a drink, that kind of thing. But nothing too
Cool.
extensive.
Cool. All right, on to you other three. I'll just note too, you can spend downtime with the CRT. It's important that you maintain that relationship. Right now, the clock is, it was impacted, it was improved, and it was not improved. So, yeah. Who's going next?
I have an idea for something I want to do.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, my alarm went off. Just because she was mentioned to us as somebody, as a person of interest, I'm gonna try and use some of the stuff I have access to with the weird paracausal crap in my mech, and a newly regained Omni Hook to try and get in contact with Dethral Ordo. Do I have that right in my notes?
Yep. Dethal Ordo. Yep. What do you want to do with Dethal Ordo?
Just like get message out to them, and it's like just in a way that will not be noticed. It's like greetings from the Infocane. We hear you've spoken with our teammate. The heart of Evergreen knows that you exist. I'd like to talk to you.
Okay. You send that message out. And you wait a day.
Mhm.
You wait another day. And you wait another day. And you wait another day. And it doesn't seem to be a response.
Unfortunate. Oh. Yeah, that was going to be my downtime action, was to gather info by doing that. So that's me then.
Gather. There. What exact info were you trying to gather?
Literally just a open communication between the two of us.
Interesting.
Or I guess that could have been get connected, but still.
Get connected. Yeah, you still have the Harsenian prisoners here.
True.
Do we? We got them
Yep.
released. We arranged for the release.
Nope,
Yeah,
never did.
Oh,
I thought we did though.
You talked about it, but you.
is it that we
never-
went on a mission?
Yes.
right
you went on-
after?
Yep. You went on a mission and it was never completed.
I guess I'd like to approach probably Patience and probably Q and Woo about it too, just to maintain clarity. Like, hey, we talked about it briefly, but I'd like to release the Harsenian prisoners as like a
Sign of good faith.
good faith offering, and essentially try and like get them to take the message with them, I guess.
Okay. Interesting. Patience can be a part of this conversation. So can Woo. It really depends on how you want to handle it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. Bye, Gear.
Hi everyone.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Gear.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you so much for running it. Ah.
No problem. All right, see ya.
Man. Having them both a part of it was more in terms of like keeping clarity with the CRT, so I'm not doing things behind their back.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I like that. So yeah, we'll just do this over comms. You send a message to Patience and Wu, I'm assuming?
Mhm.
Cool.
Mm.
They both pop up on as holographic projections off of your heart suit, and Patience chimes in first and says, Ganya, what can I help you with?
Patience. Woo. We spoke briefly before about freeing our current Harsenian captives. I would like to go forward with that plan as a step of good faith. We're trying to make any progress on the ground. I'd like to try and push that mandate forward.
Yes, you spoke about this before you deployed on your last mission, and the arguments you all made are quite convincing. However, I'd like to get Eddie Wu's opinion on the matter, given their role and station here as the CRT.
Hmm.
Wu says, if I may, Kanya, do you mind?
I invited you for a reason.
Well, from my perspective is that, and what we've gathered and what Anne Lorette has been surveying of the colony, there's no guarantee that these captives we have won't report back on our defenses, how weak they are, because they are weak. And how are we to know that an assault from either within or our weak point won't be coming next? I would advise against this course of action.
On a similar vein, we're currently in tentative but diplomatic state of stalemate. I don't think this is the time for paranoia. I think that mathematically it will lose us.
That's a good argument. Patient says, you see, Wu, Kanya and our Infakane allies have been here a while, and they know the dynamics of the situation. I would give their recommendations a second look, probably further consideration. Eddie Wu says, okay.
I certainly respect the point of view that you're dealing with. And were this a different situation, I'd agree. But I think now is the time to try and smooth things over. But I have no intention of letting down our guard.
Oh, this is Wu talking. Well, I guess I can heed Patience's word and trust your decision making. All that I ask is that we press forward with this course of action with a bit of pause. Pause for the unpredictable. I say, why not leave one and send the rest? You guys have like 8 people or something like that. I assure you, they'll be well taken care of.
I can work with that.
Well, that settles it. And then Peyton says, is there anything further, Kanya?
I don't think so. And I'm afraid I must, even though I called this meeting, cut it short. My Sisyphus is done printing, and I need to install it.
No worries. Let me know if you need any assistance. I have a way with NHPs that you would expect.
And I may look to your expertise, Patience. Thank you. Mr. Wu?
He comes out. Cool. With that, in short order, Emma Broadstreet escorts 7 prisoners, Harsenians, from the governor's farm. They look well taken care of. They don't look like they've been put in duress at all. Emma says nothing as she sees you and kind of just lets them walk on by. The Harsenians look at her and look at you, and
he hands one of them a letter, and in sort of broken setcom era common, he did essentially the equivalent of a Google Translate on. Give to Ordo. Will do my best to send the remainder soon.
The message rings clear with the Harsenians here, and yeah, we'll say that you probably set up some type of transport for them. Evergreen has enough to spare. It's got a printer, by the way. So yeah, they'll press on a bit cautiously, taking your letter, and with the intention of bringing that to Dathal.
Do you still want me to roll for get connected?
Yeah, let's see if they survive.
Oof. Okay. Fuck. What trigger would I type? Invent or create for inventing a solution?
No.
The only one maybe is word on the street because I'm trying to get word over to Ordo. Otherwise, I think I'm just rolling.
Right, just roll. Yep.
Right. I don't. Are checks with crit? I don't remember.
Nope.
Okay. This is gonna say agility, but it's just a roll. Oh, come on.
Yeah. You don't know. I think simultaneously, you know that the mounting forces of the machine have been sighted in the perimeter. And honestly, this is the best you could do for the Harsenians. There's no guarantee they'll make it, but you have faith. That's it.
You just have to.
What does a 6 say? What does 6 say for get connected?
9 or less. Your contact will help you, but they've got to do it. But you've got to do a favor for them or make good on a promise right now. If you don't, they won't help you. Making good on the promise, getting like at least what I could out to them. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I got most of them free.
Yeah. This is making good. Yeah. I would say making good a promise. Yeah, I think that is acceptable. But who knows how many will survive? There will be casualties. Just spoiler.
Can I say I handed off my sidearm to them? And I don't know how much that'll help, but
totally, yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
with the message like handed in my sidearm.
Yep. Remind me that you did this. Next session.
1 second. I'm also gonna just go and remove my sidearm.
Cool. Oh, you don't have to remove your sidearm. You can always print a new one. It's no big deal.
Fair.
Yeah. So you remind me that you did this. Come next session. Cool. Kanye, was anything else?
Nope. That was my downtime action.
Solid.
Besides popping by, like walking during like retrofitting, just walking by gear and.
Oh yeah, your mech. Yeah,
yeah, my mech.
Yeah, what you got?
The automated weaponry and Sisyphus.
Fuck. What is? Describe Sisyphus to me.
Oh, Sisyphus is my. Damn, that's the other thing I needed you to add to my character sheet. Damn it. In line with a lot of what Kanye has been talking about recently, it runs the numbers perfectly to the to the point that it is considered close to the 5 minds or 5 voices that predict the future. Yeah,
Galsum or whatever. Yeah.
And it's kind of blasé because it knows everything. And he's just kind of like, as he's installing it and booting it up, he's like, I don't know if you want a name yet, but I think you see the patterns like I do.
Interesting. Do you know what the word Sisyphus comes from?
Yes, I am aware of the story of Sisyphus.
I'm not. I was asking. I don't know what it is.
Sisyphus. I don't remember precisely what he did to end up in the underworld, but he was cursed with the task of pushing a rock up a hill that he would never achieve. He would never get it to the top. It would always be out of his reach, and he had to repeat that over and over and over and over again.
Yeah,
it's like a. Go ahead.
Oh, because when it reaches the top, it just falls back down.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Yeah.
It's a Greek figure, mythology.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think he was a demigod. I don't remember.
Cool.
The punishment was specifically for like cheating death.
Oh, was he the one who caged death?
Something
was he the
like
one
that.
who chained? I think was he the one who changed up Thanatos?
I don't remember the exact, but I know it had something to do with like cheating death so that he couldn't die. So then when death finally got him, it was like,
He's stuck there
here's your
forever.
reward. Here's your
Cool.
reward.
Cool. Yeah. So you print out the components to compose the or the casket to compose the Sisyphus class NHP. Special order from the horse weirdo fucks.
My
As
friends
you
on the
plug this thing
internet.
in, yeah. As you plug this into your mech, and we'll say your Pegasus, and it's been loaded up, and you hop into the cockpit. You get a storyboard play out, almost like a storyboard of a movie. That exact story is played out in the images of a individual that's shaded and very blurry, and you can't make out who it is. But they are, as the name implies, pushing up a rock up a tall hill. But there's something at the top of that hill, a figure standing menacingly above it, almost orchestrating this very traumatic course of events where this individual is pushing this massive rock up the hill. The individual at the top says, "My right horn and my left horn, my chest and my loins. Sisyphus, give my son the ability to eliminate its allies. They are my left horn and quite skilled in their task. Push the rock. Push the rock." And that's Shaka commanding Sisyphus to do things to serve you.
Well, he's a little intense, but I look forward to getting to know you.
Sisyphus is just pushing the rock in, agrees. Cool. Yeah, so this thing has got auto guns and a dope ass Sisyphus NHP in it. And
Also,
it is
a
good.
button. Also, that comes printed out is a bunch of heavy caliber special ordnance for the anti-mat rifle.
Oh, dope. This where is it?
The OP
Like,
caliber.
oh, dope. Yeah, you're on an anti-material rifle.
Yep.
Oh shit. Yeah, there's probably like another kind of like kind of, I don't know. Let me see. High impact shell attachment. Something that you can kind of load up into your anti-material rifle that is the overcaliber thingy attachment.
That's a
It's just really hard.
round.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't worry.
Cool.
One day I'll add Roland chamber as well to make it extra big ammunition.
One day. Who's next?
Do you mind if I go? Clay,
Go ahead.
do need a skedaddle soon.
Go ahead.
First of all, Shaka, I have a question about like the time frame of the game, which is basically if I wanted to start a 6-segment clock, would I have enough time to complete it?
Yeah, so you can get a 20. You can fill out 2 segments. Oh wait, let me see. No, you would not.
I would not have enough time to complete a 6-segment clock.
Nope.
Okay. Even if I got like multiple 20s.
You guys have, it goes to license level 4. So this is your last downtime.
Okay. In that case, I need to look at the downtime actions again. So if Legion, if Kaiser wants to go, while I review that real quick. Apologies.
Yeah, so Kaiser wants to meet up with Anne Lorette, the CRT's NHP specialist.
Yep.
And because he made a recent discovery, which that he had a suspicion that the Enkidu had a mind of its own, but he found out where said mind is located, and he wants to turn it into an NHP with her help.
Okay, cool. So you want to meet with Anne to turn something into, I'm sorry, I missed that one part. Turns what into NHP?
Whatever causes the Enkidu to go berserk into an NHP.
Okay, and mechanically, what's happening?
So I'm gonna scrounge and barter. and that's and it's just gonna be like get this for me, and I'll just see if I could use my organization, which I have to roll for.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is +2.
Ooh,
Okay, so now my
organization. Good stuff.
organization has a +4.
Okay.
I need to write. Okay, there it is. So I don't think I have any triggers related to scrounge and barter, unless you would say charm in order to go to the Grey Towns and like barter, or survive and like go to the edge of safety where the machines are and like
Mm-hmm.
just like take out and salvage what's the wreckage of the old SecCom machines.
Yeah. I would say you could do either. You could either go to the outskirts, or you can go to the Great Towns. Yeah, you could do either.
Okay, so in that case,
And how are you using Lorette again to help you put together? Okay, so you're getting
Yeah.
material, but you need her. Okay, cool, got you. Yeah, so you got a 17. That's what's 17 say on Scrounge and Barter?
that's for the organization.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
Okay,
so
I will go ahead and do survive because Kaiser has a stealth suit. And so let's see. My organization adds a +4 flat to this. Come on.
ooh, nice.
So on a 20, I get what I'm looking for, no problem. And I guess mechanically, what I'd like to also get out of this is a core battery.
Oh, okay, so you get a reserve.
Yeah, it's basically get scrounge and barter is like get a reserve.
Got you. Cool. Yeah, you can get a core battery out of that for sure. You venture out into the Great Towns, probably headed in the opposite direction of the refugees that are headed away from the outskirts. The Great Town's a little bit more protected, so there's maybe not so many refugees flooding in from those locations. But yeah, you're able to meet up with some folks here who have some spare supplies. They're used to people from Evergreen coming for illicit things you can't get on in Evergreen, or rather print out on Evergreen. And yeah, there's some former members of Lotus's PMC that have some spare subalterns that they dug up and haven't repurposed. You can arrange with them a little transaction and call it they're giving it to you out of good faith. And yeah, you get those materials, and you can head back to Evergreen. Dodging for majority their roaming subalterns.
Nice. Yeah, so after working with Anne Lorette, I think the new Enkidu, I don't have the token, I just didn't make it yet, but
Okay.
the new Enkidu has it looks odder in that rather than being like quadrupedal, it's now like it stands on its hind legs, but not like fully upright, kind of like a pangolin
Mm-hmm.
or T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it seems to be, despite the fact that it looks more it's more different, it's more refined in that a lot of the flesh has been like covered up by like carapace, and more and more of it is organic, and that's to represent the superior by design. It's not Harrison Army design, it's SSC biology.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so you essentially has like a biomech kind of printing out. It's strange. The printer here on Evergreen probably hasn't printed anything similar to this, other than your last Enkidu which was almost like a recovery of the one that blew up. Or didn't blow up rather. So yeah, Chief Fielding's probably a little perturbed by what's coming out of the printers. Even more perturbed than he was when he saw Kanye's Pegasus. But doesn't approach you at all. Lets the thing print out, but also doesn't ask any of his engineers to help you because it seems like it's a little out of their wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's a mech that's you print part of it, but it's mostly grown rather than assembled.
Interesting. That is a
But,
strange ass mech.
Yeah, and then Lucifer, I got a Lucifer NHP out of that.
Nice. Yeah, and Lorette is probably there with you as the mech's being grown / printed. Well, I kind of imagine like there's like a base that's printed out, and then out of other materials, things are formed around that base, which then forms your Enkidu.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like you do a seed, and then things grow around it. But yeah, and Lorette's with you, and she'll say, what was the NHP called?
Lucifer class NHP.
Lucifer. Cool. Yeah, and Lorette's gonna say, Lucifer, that's an interesting choice. Temperamental yet resourceful.
Yes, it's quite fitting, if I would say so myself. An angel jealous, that's jealous of those who did not admire perfection and has been punished for it, but still remains faithful to those that have struck it down by punishing those that are sinful. I'm not really a believer myself, but I think it's pretty fitting.
It does sound fitting, but I would caution you and your teammates as well. I'm sure you're aware there's a note that rings in the air. I feel it's touched patience, and I fear it might touch your Lucifer.
Well, I'll come to that once I deal with it. It is the cost of efficiency and effectiveness. Sometimes the alliance isn't built out of goodwill, but over an implicit danger between the two.
Well said. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to gift you with something. Something to protect your Lucifer's casket. A little trinket I picked up in my ventures with the CRT.
I will gladly accept.
And Lorette passes you something that will protect your Lucifer class HP from cascading the first time you roll a 1.
Ooh.
She says, this is well, call it a contingency protocol. I've dealt with NHPs in my lifetime. All my lifetime, actually. Patients won't let me get near enough to inspect their casket, but while I have an extra one, I might as well put it to use.
Well, if you ever need that casket inspected by someone, I have a few strings I could pull after this mission.
I will write that down in my books, and I feel it will be useful while outside of Contingency White's protocols or mission here. I do feel tinkering with that NHP draws at my desires.
I know that feeling all too well from my handlers. It's always good to be on the side with the hands and not the receiving end.
Exactly. So with that, unless you had anything else to say, Anne will conclude the conversation and say, thank you for giving her the opportunity to tinker with the Lucifer in HP.
That's it.
Cool. So your clock with the CRT has increased back to 4. Fickle relationships. They must be treated with care. Cool. And then you talked about your mech. So last but not least, Qtepi.
I don't really know the best downtime to grab, but I think the one that might work best for me might be Patience Hookup. Potentially.
What's that?
Let me jump to it real quick. Apologies. It is Patience Hookup. You have a direct line to Patience. Spend this reserve to gain +1 on all skill checks and saves for a scene, even in combat, as Patience helps me out directly.
Interesting. Yeah. Is there a role? What page is this? Oh wait, you're on my page. Let me type it.
If you do the pinned message in
in ours.
campaign.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Here we go. Interesting. Talk and walk. Dig up the pass. R&R down the well. Where's Patience Hookup? Maybe.
It's Evergreen Reserves. I don't remember if I can
down.
grab.
Oh, okay. Where are the reserves at?
They're you have to jump to it because you pinned that page, but the reserves.
Oh, okay. I got you. Cool.
No problem.
Okay, cool. So, but what's your downtime action?
Oh yeah. For downtime action, I was thinking talk a walk.
Okay. Let's see what that is. You spend some time hitting the streets of Evergreen and walk around the city, listening, watching, and taking in the air. Before long, you practically are a local. Name where you walk, then roll. As you start to, a couple days have passed, but as you start to, get your footing and stuff, taking your downtime from mech piloting, you do see a couple of members of the CRT doing their duties around Evergreen.
I was going to ask if I could specifically try to get Eddie Wu to walk with me. Eddie
Wu will definitely walk with you.
Kind of like finger quote leader to leader kind of conversation, he and I. And I think that would fit in terms of if I fail the thing, it'd be something along the lines of he and I fighting. But if I succeed.
Yeah.
Let's
see here. Streetwise gain 1, but you're going to check outside of mech combat. Evergreen. Oh, you get these things? Let me see. On 19, permanently gain. Oh, okay, got you. Okay, cool. You want to start off the conversation?
Yeah. I imagine just kind of wherever the CRT is holed up in the governor's farm, right?
They're all doing duties around Evergreen.
Got you. Wherever Eddie Wu is, just kind of like if he's, I don't know, in some like security office, I might start by knocking on the door. And when I have the chance to speak to him, I kind of say, there is only so much you can learn of Evergreen by watching through a monitor. Please, I encourage you, let us take a walk.
Eddie Wu is sitting in their office. Looks like they're going through some information that his team has collected. He perks up at the entrance of you into his kind of office here and says, "Oh, Qtepi. I'll happily take you up on that. Haven't had the chance to be among the people yet."
Qtepi kind of does his usual like little half nod, half bow with his arms folded behind his back. And he kind of gestures as if to say, after you. And I imagine like on their walk, he kind of is talking about like the different people in the city, what he's observed, what he's just kind of freely sharing information from a position of, I suppose you could say, command, since in the field he often defaults to
Interesting.
being the commander, and Eddie Wu is the commander of the CRT. So just kind of like in partially this is like in a way to be like, hey, I want to avoid what happened previously. I want us to be working on good conditions. I feel as though our teams can be of incredible aid to each other. Just reinforcing all of that. I'm sure at some point he hits Eddie Wu with tell me, which do you think is
Perfect.
He has
It wouldn't
to.
be
He
it wouldn't
has
be
to.
Kutepi if it wouldn't be Kutepi if you didn't do that. Eddie's disposition is gonna be very professional. You're gonna, give him a tour essentially, from the perspective of someone who's been here for a while, and then he is also gonna try and be tactful and maintain his team's legitimacy here. Never overstepping, like in conversation, never overstepping your team's like purview. Probably questioning, like why you guys are so dedicated to doing this. But
I
yeah,
think it is kind of back and forth where, like I said, Q kind of freely gives information. He freely gives
Gotcha.
views on things. He may not like. The only thing he might hold back is like maybe not talking as harshly about patients as possible. But he does make it clear that he won't. I wouldn't go as far as saying that patience is compromise, but that more so that patience has a goal here has a goal that they aren't sharing with the teams that are working for him. Them.
interesting.
Them.
Interesting. Yeah, you share that information, that specific information which you just noted with Eddie, and you can't tell whether or not he's surprised by it.
So yeah, it's kind of like we don't know all the facts here, so I want us to lean on each other more in a very Infocane way, saying like more as brothers, lean on each other as brothers would kind of deal.
Yeah, got you. Okay, cool. You want to give me a roll?
Yeah, can I use a lead or inspire, since I'm literally leading him around and also trying to like inspire confidence, inspire trust,
Got you.
motivate him to work to kind of deepen our bonds together.
No to the lead argument, yes to the inspire argument.
Yeah. Lead is me teasing. So yeah,
Okay, got you.
let me go ahead and roll this.
Give it to me, baby.
Give it.
Ah!
Oh,
Oh my god.
wow, that's awful.
Well, Q.
Let me look at it because I'm pretty sure it says something about failure.
Yeah, it does.
How does my
Nonetheless,
organization work?
you walk somewhere you're not supposed to be. Describe how you get out of the situation or spend an uncomfortable night at the governor's farm until patients can smooth things.
Take +1 to interactions with evergreen colonists and administrators.
I'll
until the next
change
downtime.
that. I'll change that. What actually happens is your conversation, it rubs Eddie Wu the wrong way.
Got you.
While you're coming off earnest and being transparent and kind of trying to make a bonding relationship, Eddie kind of sees these actions as contrived and too deliberate, and is gonna take a very defensive and more professional perspective in response to what you're saying. Yeah, I would say it's not enough to damage the clock, but not enough to improve it either.
Fair enough.
Cool. And yeah, you don't have the adverse effect. That's just what happens.
Got you.
Cool. And as far as your mech, what's got going on with it?
With my mech, we are still running the Setsuayo.
Mm-hmm.
But we have switched out its aux mount slightly. We have an Akimba on it instead of 2 adhesive jacks. It's an Akimba and an adhesive shaft now. For my Infocane gift, I've also switched that around, and I am no longer doing terraforming engines, but instead Ignoma.
Nice. You've got a hacker build, I see.
It is a little bit. It is leaning on hacker, but as we get into more so like our talents and whatnot, it'll become a little bit clearer what Q has kind of geared himself for. Recognizing his limitations in terms of being able to damage the enemies, but also recognizing the benefit of being able to direct allies. He has leaned in hard. He now has leader 2. Well, he had leader 2 before, but he has leader 2. But he has spotter 3. So he's going to get the Bintham Falcon elimination, which is as a quick action when you lock on, you may nominate an allied character adjacent to you. They may immediately make any quick action as a reaction, consuming your target's lock-on condition.
Oh, nice.
And I have Skirmisher, which is integrated chaff launchers. You know, gotta still have more chaff.
Nice.
Double up on the chaff. And it's at the start of your turn. At the start of my turn, I gain soft cover, and I only lose that soft cover if I attack or force another character to make a save.
Yeah. So you've really leaned in heavy on like I even felt it through the narrative of this session. It's like the leader, like role, like role as in like position. Because and I think your mech reflects that too. As you print out the adjustments to your Chetsuayo. It I mean the mech is literally designed as the ideal image of the Nkulu. And so it's meant to stand out above all the rest. And I think your character is maybe now embodying that more.
Also, as a core bonuses, we just are doing universal compatibility, which is just full reset when I activate my core, with the potential of just getting the core back.
Yep. Nice.
I do love how our mechs are very literal, like representations of what our characters are doing.
Seriously. Well, yeah.
Like you just said for Ibiku, that whole thing happening, the brutal devastation machine that is also a healer and protector. Yeah, a healer and protector. The beast rechained and the descent into madness.
Yeah, it is. There's a weird level of synergy as everyone is like finding not only their like own personal job within the team, but also figuring out ways to like still interact with other people in the team. And Abiku is in reference to the last thing he said last combat. He is honing his ability to make his teammates his Ukuwa.
Oh, dope. I like that. Sharp and deadly. Cool. Well, if
how I live.
That is it. I'll call that a session. As we will pick up next time with you all embarking on figuring out what's going on with this Harsenian tunnel.
Oh man.
Excellent.
Thank you, bus driver.
No problem. That was I like the RP sessions. We've only had like one or like solely RP sessions. I think 1 or 2. Maybe this is probably the second one.
Yeah, I think this is the second one because I know the first one was very hard.
Yeah.
The first time when you guys first arrived on Evergreen and you were
that was full RP.
Yep.
Then the one after that was like maybe
combat.
75 RP, but we still had combat, so it wasn't full RP.
Yep.
No, that's cool. The odds of rolling a 4 on a D20, but like literally, as I rolled, I was thinking to myself, man, I really wish I had not advantage, accuracy on this for some reason. But I mean, all I have to do is roll a 4. What are the chances?
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Goodbye, recording.
Goodbye,
recording.
Umva.